I'm gonna mute everybody, so unmute yourself if you need to speak, and then I'll bring the prayer stuff up. So mute all.
Be respectful.
All right, share screen.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. First time back on hybrid for a while now. And we got a pretty good group here. I'd say about 10, 12, 15 people. I'm not exactly sure, but thanks for coming in today. And thanks for being on the Zoom meeting. If you're joining us via Zoom, you're on both screens and we can see everybody. So we're glad to have everybody in this meeting in both formats. This morning, our invocation will be Michael Close, and then Dave Williamson will lead our pledge. Michael, whenever you're ready. You have to unmute yourself.
No. Unmute him, Ron.
All right, well, I can't, I'm gonna have to stop sharing the screen. Where is he?
All right, I'm unmuted now.
Okay, well,
We ready?
okay.
We'll start again. Heavenly Father, it's fall. Nature dies. It rests for winter and is then reborn. Even as it does, so do our spirits ebb. But in spring, everything greens. Our spirits renew. And we remember the importance of the life and death and resurrection. Especially this fall as politics are upon us. And just like Dr. Seuss, we apparently live in camps. We pray that we can disagree without hate. We decry our persecution of each other. And let us remember and understand that even if our politicians can't lead us in a peaceful manner as they should, then Lord, at least give us the discernment of how we should be so we can lead by example. Teach us to accept others and their views without hate. Teach us to seek justice. Teach us to love mercy. And teach us to walk humbly with you. Amen.
Amen.
Good morning. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'll wait till we get the flag up there, Dave.
Having an issue here this morning for some reason. There we go. Are we there?
Don't have the flag yet, Ron.
Oh, it's showing up on my screen. You see it now?
No.
I don't want that, damn it. I want this. How about now?
Got it.
Good.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To
of
the flag
the
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, liberty, and
and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mike.
Stop sharing.
I think we have a few guests today. If you have a guest, would you please introduce your guests? Susan West has a guest here.
Yes, Elizabeth, we'd like to say that Elizabeth joined us on Zoom last week, and she's come in person today. She's from Goodwill Industries, right? And I worked with her, one of her coworkers who's in my networking group, and Elizabeth wanted to join us and see what this great club's all about.
Thank you. I think Jim Burness, you have a guest on today, right?
Yes, my guest today, can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, my guest today is Moses Sifron. Moses is from the Dominican Republic and was supposed to host us on our mission trip in March. Hopefully he will be hosting us on our mission trip in the future, yet to be determined. But we're happy to have him here for an update on maybe what's going on in the Dominican.
Welcome, Moses. He's probably our furthest away guest today. Any other guests today?
We have our new member.
Yeah, we're gonna announce our new member here in just a second. Okay. And so that's a good introduction. Laurie Reinbold, would you like to introduce Kurt Brown? Kurt is here with us today. Laurie's on Zoom.
Yes, good morning, everybody. And we want to welcome Kurt Brown to the club. Kurt lives over in Jerome Village, and he actually has 2 children, a 3-year-old and 1-year-old. So I'm sure he's extremely busy. He's very passionate about community service, and I think he's going to bring a ton to the club. He's got a lot of experience that I think he can share with us, and a lot of passion and energy towards it too. So welcome to the club, Kurt. Anything you'd like to say specifically or introduce about yourself?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much, Lori. Again, as she mentioned, Kurt Brown. I can't say enough how excited I am to join this great Rotary. I do believe in community service. I was recently on a food pantry board, and my 3-year term ended. So I really wanted to get back involved. And I thought, I was looking at different opportunities, came across several people that have been in Rotary for years. And they just couldn't say anything bad about it, only great things. So again, I'm very, very excited, have a passion for this and look forward to getting involved. Sorry that, we're in this environment and half of you or most of you are on Zoom, but I do look forward to meeting each of you individually, getting involved and making as big a difference as we can. So thank you very much.
And Kurt, here is your Rotary pin.
Great.
And welcome to our club. We're very
Thank
happy to have you, and you will probably be our only COVID new member.
Thank you.
Stamp that on your pad, on your badge. Okay. Susan West, you've got an announcement for us today. Come on up to the microphone so everybody can hear you.
Of course, Elizabeth joins us today, and there's actually, big bottles of vodka and whiskey as she comes in. Like, what is this, right? All in, let's do this. No, so the bottles are in reference to our club, our 125 club. And what we're looking for are folks to donate to the Rotary Annual Fund, $100 and $25 to Polio Plus. And then as a thank you to you for making that donation, you get your choice of a bottle of Irish whiskey or a specially labeled bottle of Kettle One vodka. So Susan Robinault is going to be here shortly, and she'll bring more of the vodka for those of you that, she'll be bringing the vodka. That's good. But I have a question for you. What continent was recently named or I guess certified as polio free in August of this year?
Africa.
Australia.
Africa, Nigeria.
Thank you. Africa is correct. Nigeria was the last country in Africa to finally be certified as polio free. So now we're down to just 2 countries to be polio free on the continent. I mean, sorry, in the world. Do you know which those two countries are?
Afghanistan and Pakistan.
That's right, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And what's just truly amazing to me is that Rotary has just been pushing so long and hard, and look at where we are now. We are just almost at the finish line. It's pretty amazing. Also know that anything that you give to Polio Plus, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation doubles that. So it really is an amazing cause, and everybody's all in. And the vodka and the whiskey kind of helps too. So thank you.
I have an announcement.
Oh, yeah, so in terms of giving, if you tell me, hey, yeah, I do want to give, then we will send you an invoice. And the invoice is pretty simple. You can either write a check or you can click on the link. And amazingly, you can pay pretty quick. So we make it simple and easy, but you should expect to see an email invoice, okay?
Thank you, Susan, for your work pulling together this fundraiser for us this year. And those bottles of vodka, when she brought them in, these are not small bottles of Kettle One. These are jugs of Kettle One. So be sure to sign up and get your bottle. It's $125 donation gets you that, or a bottle of Jameson Irish whiskey while supplies last. Roberta Kane, you have an announcement for us?
My car is outside waiting for coats, and I got 4 from Ken Bolts. But if during the next 2 weeks, we're going to collect coats or toiletries. So coats for capital kids, but they want adults or kids, and toiletries for the Dublin Food Pantry. So if you can't bring it to David's house, and we'll put his address in the next announcement, then email me, call me, text me, let me know. I'll come and pick it up from your house, your doorstep, whatever. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, there will be a big Home Depot box on my front porch with a Rotary hat sitting on top of it. So anybody that wants to bring coats or toiletries can drop your stuff right in there, and we'll get it to Roberta to take to wherever she's taking it. Any other announcements this morning?
I've got an announcement if I could. Mike Close here.
Okay.
Every year at about this time, I collect used flags, used American flags that have become tattered and unsuitable for showing in honor of my friends that died in Vietnam. So any of you that have got a flag that you'd like to have disposed of, if you want to get them to me, actually, you can just leave them there at the desk with Carla at the front desk at the country club, and she'll get them to me. But then by the end of the month, I'll go ahead and do the proper disposition of any of those flags.
Okay. Other announcements?
Dave, I have an announcement. If you are planning on coming to our socially distanced gathering next Friday, please let me know. I'll send out another email so you can register yourself and a guest. We are being very, very careful about being distanced. We'll be outside. We've checked the weather report. Looks like it should be a nice evening, but you might want to bring a jacket. I think almost every one of the hosts has a fire pit that will be going, and it's just a mini perfect party at our host's home. So I'll send another thing out. Please sign up by midweek. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Claudia. Paige, you had an announcement?
If I'm not mistaken, somebody's over this week.
Yes, you are correct. Ken Bolts had his 60th birthday on Tuesday. So happy birthday to Ken Bolts. Big 6-0. Congratulations. Any other announcements? Thanks for reminding me. Okay. Jim, were you wanting to give Moses a few minutes to update us on what's going on in the Dominican Republic?
Yes, Moses, if you could just bring us up to speed with what's going on down there and the challenges you're faced with, as we all are all over the world.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. That's good morning in Spanish. So I hope all of you are doing good. I know it's getting kind of chilly in your lovely country. Our countries, the weather is getting better, as I was mentioning. The coronavirus have changed the whole world. You know that. You are one of those countries. That include us. In the beginning, it was planning to come in March. We have everything ready for you to keep you busy and working and keeping you treating the kids on the school. You know the end. And we have everything ready for you, but that changed. We thank you before everything because even when you don't come, you send the money for us to keep supporting the school and supporting the people in Dominican Republic. First of all, thank you because this. So we have a program with you in the beginning, but we changed that. We asked the schools through Jim permission to use your phone to help mostly the kids that was in the school that their parents lose their job. So we was able to buy food because most of the Dominicans in the east side of the Dominican Republic lose their job because we live of resorts. So no one was flying in from Europe or the United States, but many people lose their job. So we was able to buy food, mostly food to the kids and to their family. On the hospital, things changed a lot. We was so nervous about the disease. We was able to make changes on the hospital and prepare rooms to receive patients with the coronavirus. Thanks of many generosity, mostly from the States, we was able to prepare 15 rooms on the first floor to treat patients with the coronavirus. At the same time, we was bringing food, mostly food, because everything stopped in Dominican Republic, 100%. The government was locking down the country like every day from 5 o'clock to 5 o'clock next day. Now things getting better. You know, we have an election who make things worse. I mean, the politician was not paying attention to the coronavirus. There was fighting between who's gonna win, you know, and our politicians are not nice like your politician. Anyway, that's other story. So the election end, a new party come on power, and then they start working together for the country. You know, but when we have the election, the amount of patients with coronavirus went up, way up. 90% of the beds in the country was full with patients with the coronavirus. As soon as we have the election, that start coming down. They lock down the country again. And like, for example, from our hospital, we used to have 15 patients with the coronavirus. Now we're down to 1 or 2 because they locking down the country, and it's helping. The still problem, it's the economy. So they open the economy a little bit, but as soon as they open, more patients with the coronavirus. So they have to be dealing with that. Open and patients with coronavirus open. So they playing the game, and we are doing good because as I mentioned, we have only 2-3 patients with coronavirus in our hospital. That's a good news. The school, we're supposed to open the school. No kids are going to school right now, which is not nice. So they're preparing all the school, including the school that you are supporting, to go on school online in November the 10th. So they are trying to provide computers to the teacher. They're training the teacher and computer and laptop to the kids. I hope that's going to work. They're supposed to open the school in January if things doesn't get crazy. But we keep supporting the families with food and medicine. So that's our major issue now. A lot of people who are on medication, like diabetic, hypertension, asthma, and they lose their job, and some of them are not able to buy the medicine, and we are doing this. We hope you're gonna be able to come next year. We hope, we pray. Because if since like on the 26th of this month, we're gonna receive the first group after the coronavirus from Connecticut. So they will be the tests. Then we have another one from Massachusetts that are planning to come. The only issue is about when they open the school. Then we will know if the kids will be bringing the coronavirus back home to their grandparents and to their parents. If things go well, then maybe you will be able to come and you will keep supporting us. For sure, the next year, the economy will be the problem. We will have to keep supporting the families with food and medicine of those people who have to take medicine every day because the chronic disease that they have. The Haitians, what is good about everything that the poorest community doesn't have too many coronavirus, like the Batages, where the Haitians live, in small villages, we do not have coronavirus, I could say almost at all. It's kind of a miracle of God. So we was very worried because then, but those people who live in the sugarcane fields where we're supposed to work when you're here, not too many people with the coronavirus, and we're happy because of that. So I'm open to any question very quick, but that's where we are right now. We thank you one more time because your donation was able to help many of those kids' family, especially with food. In the middle of the emergency, March, April, May, we was able to buy and feed so many families with your donation. So we thank you again because of that.
Well, thank you for being here with us today, Moses. We're thankful for our partnership with you to help people there in the Dominican Republic. And we'll look forward to hearing from Jim Burness on what we can do to support you going forward through the rest of this coronavirus issue. And so thank you for being here all the way from the Dominican Republic today. We need to move on. So I'm going to invite Calvin to the podium to introduce our speaker for the day.
Thank you, David. Our program this morning is Goodwill is more than a retail store. We have two presenters. Michelle Roberts has been employed with the Marion Goodwill Industries, a nonprofit agency, as Senior Vice President of Human Resources and Mission Services for 12 years. She accomplished her Master's in Business Administration from Franklin University and an undergraduate degree in education plus 40 hours in education at the graduate school level from The Ohio State University. She has developed, applied for, and been awarded and managed 26 program grants totaling over $1.2 million annually. These programs have served over 6,000 community members. She has currently completed the Goodwill Industries International Executive Development Program. Our second presenter is Justin Vanderhoff. Justin is the Mission Service Development Director with the Marion Goodwill Industries. He has worked at Goodwill since January of 2017. Justin develops new partnerships with community businesses, specializing in community collaboration. He manages a workforce development staff within a 5-county territory. Prior to working at Goodwill, Justin worked with warehouse logistics. Justin enjoys being outside, riding his motorcycle, and spending his time with his daughter. Michelle, we welcome you and are looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much for having us. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can everyone see our presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. So to start out, Goodwill Industries, our mission is building lives that work. So a little bit about the history of Goodwill. We were founded internationally in 1902 by Reverend Edgar Helms. He was a Methodist minister and an early social innovator. He collected household goods and clothing in our wealthier areas and trained those to mend and repair those used goods at that time. We don't do that anymore, but back in 1902, that was absolutely how they handled that. So then the goods were then resold and they were given a chance, not a charity. And so that was really his founding, was to have a social enterprise that would be a funding source for work. So we are one of 156 Goodwills operating independently in the US. So the one thing about Goodwill is in Ohio, there are 16 different autonomous Goodwills. So we are all by territories. So for us, Marion Goodwill, and just so, you know, as we're talking, this is through the presentation, but we serve Marion, Delaware, Union, Crawford, and Morrow. So if some of you are located in Franklin County, that Goodwill is ran by Columbus Goodwill. So we're very similar in our missions, but our programming is a little bit different. So our Goodwill has been founded in 1977. And we help individuals with disabilities, but then also barriers to employment, find jobs by providing programs and services for people who are wanting to work. So how our major funding source, we do have grants that we have for some of our programs and services. But why we are able to do what we do is because of our Goodwill retail stores. So we take in donations, which I'm sure many of you have, you know, helped us in that process. And we turn that process into jobs. And then the profit that we make from our retail stores funds our programs and services. A little bit about our structure. We do have a board of trustees. And this is just a list of who our officers are from. It's really important to us in our board of trustees that we have well-rounded representation. So we have all different types of industries. And if anyone ever had an interest in serving on our board, we would definitely love to make those connections. So that's something that you could reach out to me and I could connect you with our president and CEO, Bob Jordan, for that piece. So Goodwill, who we serve. We had said that we're one of 156 independent Goodwills. We have our 5-county region. We operate 9 retail locations. We have an online presence through shopgoodwill.com. And that is, if you have not been on there, it is great. It is like an eBay, but it's ran by Goodwills. So all of the Goodwills across the United States post items. You bid on those items and then they're shipped to your home, just like an eBay or an Amazon. We have education and training centers for our mission presence in Marion and Delaware County. We have a job readiness center in Mount Gilead. Our corporate office, and for all of our donations, we have our warehouse and distribution. And something that a lot of people don't realize is we have just in our retail, in our retail and our mission, and then also our contract area, 304 employees. So out of nonprofits, we are one of the largest nonprofits in the area. Our retail stores are in Delaware. We have a Delaware, Lewis Center, Powell, Sunbury, and Westerville. Those would be our Delaware stores. And then we also have stores in Marysville, Mount Gilead, Marion, of course, Gallion, and that covers our 5-county area. This was the Shop Goodwill that I spoke about. So if you want to write that address down, that's something that you could look at after the, after the presentation. So our story of how, starts with your donations. So you donate a gently used item, and then that we create jobs with those items, and then people shop within our store. That raises money to pay for our programs and services, which improve lives and also empower our communities. All right, I'm going to pass this part of the presentation over to Justin.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, so our workforce development department, as she said, every time you're at the register and they ask you to round up, those dollars help fund our mission. and that is the Building Lives at Work. And through that, we're able to help through workforce development. We're helping individuals with disabilities and other barriers to employment. But it's not just individuals with disabilities either. We're able to help anyone that's able to walk through our door, and for whatever service they need, whether it's resume building, upskilling their technology skills, you name it, anything, barriers that is keeping you from employment, we're able to do that here at Goodwill. Our education and training, we have free job readiness classes there in Delaware County. And those are every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Through that, we're able to help, like I said, upskill your training skills and just get you through those, maybe those speed bumps that you may have had along the way that have kept you from employment or just kept you from moving up within. We also have digital skills. We have a partnership through our Goodwill International with Google, and it's allowed us to also improve those technology skills, and we're able to help with Microsoft Office, Microsoft Excel, you name it, we're able to help in those areas and build people up through those skills. Our youth programs, this is what I came on and started in, and this is what I absolutely fell in love with, because a little bit about me, as I first started out, as he said, I was in warehousing and logistics, and I did that for over 15 years, and I just knew I needed something totally different. And I could never imagine being here at Goodwill and where I'm at today and doing what I'm doing without these youth programs. And it's been huge, and it's amazing in that it was something I wish we had when I was that age, because through these youth programs, we're able to help individuals 14 to 24 years old really get back on their feet or get that first time job. So those 14-year-olds that are coming into our program, by far what I've seen in my experience are by far our best workers, because they have not had times to learn those bad habits. But through that, we're able to get them in various work experiences. So when they come into the program, we figure out all their barriers and develop a goal plan. And then from that goal plan, we have about 6 months before they're up for re-eligibility. And then we start talking about, okay, what speed bumps have you had along the way? How did you handle those? What is that goal plan? How many of those goals have you accomplished along the way? But then we're also talking to that work site. Is it possible that this individual is ready for hire? And so through that ability, we as Goodwill are able to pay for their wages and have work experience alongside with a job coach that comes in and checks on them once a week, checks with the supervisor, and make sure everything's going well and that they are moving through their goal plan and successfully moving towards their career path and or post-secondary transition. So through that specific program there in Delaware County, we have a partnership with Delaware Job and Family Services. And it's been an amazing partnership that we just started recently, because as I'm out on the ground, boots on the ground, I'm out there able to form partnerships with all these different businesses. So as you guys there in your businesses, if you have some spots open for work experience, we would love to partner with you and have some youth in your site and have that relationship there. To what we look for from a work site is a good mentorship and just that supervision and, you know, helping that individual along with the speed bumps. Our other youth program though is a youth 14 to 22 years old, and we help individuals with moderate to mild learning disabilities. And this only spans the summer. So right when kids get out of school, we put them through a couple days of soft skills, the to-dos, not to-dos there at a work site. And then from there, we have 5 weeks of work experience where these youth get to have their first experience in a workplace. And they have a job coach with them at all times. And for them, it's an amazing experience because at the end of it, they get to see, you know, what went well, what they can work on, and then decide, you know, a path from there, meeting with their counselors. And so we've had partners just this past summer. We worked with Oakland Nursery, Safari Golf Club, and Jay Gumbo's, Thorson's Greenhouse, And we also work with Delaware County Fairgrounds, and then in our retail stores as well. Real quick, senior program, 55 and older, we are able to upskill and prepare individuals for employment success. And emergency clothing. We have partnerships through United Way and other various nonprofits that we are able to utilize our roundup dollars and able to give back. So if you have an individual that may be applying to your business that needs a set of interview clothes, we are able to help supply that. Or if maybe they have, they need their ID, their state ID, or have some fees associated to that, to getting back their license, we're able to help cover that as well. But through the emergency clothing, it's another great resource that we have at our fingertips that really gives that pride back to an individual, because, you know, I was in that position, you know, a few years ago where, you know, just having the interview clothes was a stress for me. And so to be able to have that resource and to be able to have that stress lifted off of me, that was huge. And so our next slide there for housing, we also help low-income families lease low-cost houses. We have over 40 units there in Marion, Ohio. And then our business services, we subcontract work with Whirlpool and other various agencies in and around our counties, and we're able to do contracting jobs. And recently, we just have a new grant for youth homelessness, which is youth ages 14 to 24. And we're able to help youth get back on their feet and get secure in their lives through work opportunities, other resources, housing options, and education. For our impact numbers, emergency clothing, we helped 2,410 individuals with clothing. Like I said, that was walking through the door, needing some interview clothes and or just emergency clothing. It's not unusual for us to get a call that an individual's house burned down and they lost everything. And so to be able to turn to us and have, you know, some clothes on their back, that's huge. Housing, we were able to help 26 individuals. Job readiness, 775 individuals. We had a prison outreach of 685. And as COVID has changed everything, we are slowly getting back into the prisons, and they're being very open to the virtual aspect as well. So that's been very beneficial to get some of our job readiness classes back in the prisons. Years ago, it used to be you would get out of prison and you didn't know which way to turn. But there's a lot of agencies now that are able to turn the corner, and 6 months, almost a year before they get out, they have multiple resources at their fingertips, and they know that day they walk out of prison exactly who to turn to and where to go. And what's nice about our partnerships with our other Goodwills here in Ohio, we can turn to any Goodwill and utilize them if you have an individual going to a different county. Strengthening families, we served 11 individuals. Our vocational rehabilitation services, 195. Our work services, 144. And through our youth programs, we had 285. So total individuals serve of 5,021.
So I will review kind of our impact numbers, some of the things that, you know, through our retail stores. Of course, we sell those items, but not all items that are donated can be sold. Some things are put out on the floor and they just don't sell. And then other items are not of the quality to put out on the floor. So we do not put those in a landfill. We recycle everything that we can. So these are just our numbers of the pounds of electronics, books, shoes, purses, hats and belts, stuffed animals, and then clothing and textiles. So, you know, it's quite an amazing number when we see clothing and textiles kept out of the landfill is, you know, almost 4 million, so 3.6 million. So when you're thinking about your donations, if you're kind of hesitant and you don't know if that's something you should donate or not, please do, because those are all items that we're able to recycle, including, belts that are used, and, maybe they're done in our cycle, but we're able to, then take those and have those recycled to keep them out of the landfill. So material donors that we have had, 281,000 people have donated to our retail stores. Our numbers of persons served. So what we say is 281,017 material donors helped impact 5,021 lives and save more than 3 million pounds of waste. Some of the organizations we partner with are, included here on the screen. And, as a business, we would love to partner with you if you have any projects. One of the things that, we do in all of our programs and services is job coaching. And job coaching is something that we can do within, to your employees and within your workplaces. So if you are seeing a deficiency in your workforce and it's something that you don't have an internal training team, we can contract with you and provide that service, based on a model that's custom. So that's the great thing about Goodwill, is that we really can do what we need to do to be able to meet community needs. So how you can support, of course, clean out your closets. Probably what we're best known for, but it's so important to our funding stream. Shop in our stores and online. Hire our clients, so our workforce development department, our job readiness centers. If you're in the need of employees, we can always post things in our centers. Become a work site. So that was what Justin was talking about with our youth. And then in 4 of our counties with our senior citizens. Donate in-kind items or real property. So trucks, cars, lands, we accept all of those things, and it's a tax write-off to you as the individual, because we are a nonprofit. The other thing that you can do to help is support a donation drive. Become a corporate funder or a community partner. So that's a financial support of a specific program. If there's some need that you see in your community, those are the things that we're wanting to look at also. Make your will a goodwill. So you can create a gift or a community that keeps giving through your gifts of life insurance or charitable trusts. You can round up at our store. So when you're shopping, the cashier will ask you if you would like to round up. That money goes directly to our programs and services. And then the last thing that you can do is sponsor in our annual Wheel-a-thon. So we were not able to have our Wheel-a-thon this year because of COVID, but every other year that we have it, it is a disability awareness event where it's actually a wheelchair race, but we do fundraising, an auction, and overall, it's just a fun event. We just all get together and have a very good time. Any questions for us?
We have time for a couple quick questions. Susan West, can you step closer to the microphone? If you're here, just stand within 5 feet or so of that. You can talk.
I was just curious if through COVID, people have been cleaning out their closets. So have you guys been overwhelmed with donations, and how does that work?
Through COVID, definitely, I think because people were at home, we did see an increase of donations. It's not an overwhelming thing for us. It's just more of an opportunity to sell those items, on our sales floor. After COVID, we have seen sales, the number of people, down in our stores shopping, as I think most retailers have seen. However, we still feel, that the community is definitely, supporting us in those areas.
Another quick question, anybody?
Yeah, I have a question. Sorry, I left. I'm out walking. What do you do when you recycle, or you say you recycle all those thousands of pounds of whatever it is you can't sell? Where do they go?
So we have suppliers that we sell those areas to. We actually have a broker that works for us to find those suppliers. And depending upon where the bale market is at, depends upon where they go. So computers, of course, are, you know, recycled just as computers are. Hard drives are destroyed, that type of information. Books are sold to different brokers, but some of them are recycled and then they're made that blow-in insulation type of product. Some of it is just the paper is recycled and then repurposed and made into other books. Clothing goes, it's a couple different brokers depending on where the market's at. Some of it goes overseas. And we know that we are having some issues in that area because through COVID, not everything is open and moving like it normally has. But we also have a recycler that clothing, you know, if it's not going to other countries, there's also recyclers that in, you know, underneath your carpet, that carpet padding that has all the various different colors that come in it, that is recycled clothing. And so just depending upon where the market is at, we sell to different brokers for different things.
Okay, we are out of time. Michelle and Justin, thank you very much for being here. I'm probably like a lot of people, most people. I take a lot of stuff to the Goodwill every year, but I've never really known where the money goes. So this has been very informative. It makes me appreciate your organization a whole lot more, and I'll feel even better about donating to the Goodwill in the future because now I know where the money goes. And then Roberta, you know, that was pretty amazing. Roberta was just here like 10, 15 minutes ago. And so she has taken full advantage of the hybrid meeting format, and she's appeared in both formats today. So congratulations on being the first to do that, Roberta.
Thank you.
So next week we have Breanne McFarland from the Ohio Health Foundation. Next week will be a Zoom only meeting. Our next hybrid meeting will be November 6th. I will send out reminders and Claudia will send out reminders about that. So we're going to try to do about one per month hybrid meeting for now. And then we'll see how that goes and hopefully pick up the frequency as things improve. Our quote of the week is, if someone is too tired to give you a smile, leave one of your own, because no one needs a smile as much as those who have none to give. And that was Rabbi Samuel Hirsch. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.